that these young women will perceive American culture. Okay, we all have our own perceptions of African culture, but how are they going to perceive you? First things first, most Ugandan youth, not only youth actually, I'll say most Ugandans do not fully understand the socio-political or socio-economic history of African descendants in America. African Americans, even Africans in the Caribbean, they don't really understand our history. They know about slavery and those types of things, but they don't really understand the intricacies of how we relate to the larger American society as a minority population. Most of the perceptions are based on mainstream media. So if they see black women in music videos or, they're not looking at Oprah. They're not necessarily looking at Michelle Obama to get their perception of what is a black American woman. It unfortunately is like, especially youth, music videos, movies. Lord knows some of the movies are a hot mess. And that's unfortunately what some people think about us. Even me, myself, when I was in Kenya as a student, I had a young man ask me if all black American women were strippers, including myself. And I was like astounded. This kid was serious. Like, he wasn't joking. He was dead serious. In the same way that we see movies about death and famine and war and corruption in Africa, and we think all of Africa is like that. You have to understand it's the same way here. General stereotypes about Americans are that we're all wealthy, that we're all rich. We've had instances where scholars have asked their mentors to send them money, to send them gifts, that they've told their mentors about the problems they're going through. Maybe they're about to get evicted from their homes, or they don't have money for food, and they think that you just have a huge bank account and can send them money. We do discourage that, and we've told them that that's not the purpose of this program, is to give handouts. No, the purpose of this program, Happy will go into detail a little bit later, but we want you to create a bond with these young women. We want you to advise them. We want you to be someone that they can share their thoughts with. But this is not about giving them handouts, not at all. But the stereotype generally is that Americans have a lot of money.
Yeah.
In schools in Uganda, English is mandatory. So most of your scholars can speak English with ease. They know how to read and write English. Their grammar may not be perfect, and you'll see that in the emails. We encourage you to respond with corrected versions of their email so they can see some of the mistakes that they've made. So as they're typing, they can also learn how to write English properly. But there's this attitude, since English is mandatory, in schools, they still practice corporal punishment. So they'll beat a kid if they're caught speaking their local language at school. You're not allowed to speak any African language at school. You must speak English. If you're caught, you will be punished. So what this does is it forces you to learn English. You have no choice. But the problem is, if a kid never understood English in the first place, and you've hammered it into them, as they go on, they're not understanding any other subject because everything else is taught in English. So if you don't grasp English early on, you're pretty much destined to fail in the Ugandan system. At AGYA, we do not require kids to speak English, though some of the stuff we do is in English. But if there's something that needs to be explained more thoroughly, we'll let them explain it in their language. I mean, we want them to comprehend. We don't want to just push them through the program. And sometimes they're more comfortable expressing themselves in English, in their mother tongues. So that's also something that you should understand. I also say that spirituality and religion is a big part of Ugandan culture and everyday life. And access to technology is not as available as it is in the United States. You know, when I'm at home, I just roll over, get on my BlackBerry, and I can send emails without even getting out of bed. But in Uganda, maybe you have to walk to an internet cafe that might be somewhere far from your home. AGYA has sporadic internet. We're working on getting more frequent internet, but it's quite expensive, and it's really only available to people who have that disposable income to spend on having internet within the home. So we're working on it. We provide the girls with the time we think that they need to complete their email correspondence to their mentors. But you also have to understand that many of these girls have not really had access to a computer before, not even the internet, just a computer. So we have to work with them on typing, even typing their name can be a challenge. So sometimes it might take them 2 hours to write a paragraph. And we've had issues with mentors being like, my scholar didn't respond on time. And the thing is, you know, I can write like a 4-page email in like 20 minutes. These girls cannot do that. So please just bear with us. We're going to really try to be on schedule. We've seen how things have gone over the last 2 years, and we have plans to make it better. We really tried to come up with like a comprehensive curriculum this year, and we're really, really excited about it. So happy if you have anything to add, you can.
The only thing I can add on is I just want to ask the mentors just to cooperate with the girls, like with the scholars. Sometimes they write things very confusing, and you know their grammar is not quite of like good. Just try your level best, educate her, ask her any question, she will answer you. If you want to know all about Luganda, you want to know all about Uganda, so just ask her, she will respond to you, and she'll be so happy if you do the same. If she's open to you, just try your level best, like to be open to her. Because if she's open and you're not open, then there will be a confusing thing in between of you. Just cooperate and be friendly, and you know, chat, laugh, and do everything that you're not supposed to do as a mentor. Because they think you know and know more, so they'll be asking a lot of questions. Just try your level best and answer them.
Yes, agreed. Okay, we hope you enjoyed this video. We've tried our best to be informative, entertaining. Unfortunately, we're not going to be there to answer questions on the spot, but Carlene and Billy have become mini Uganda experts, so perhaps they can answer your questions.